It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you, and welcome to this elementary edition of Science Bowl. 2 grade schools here to play our game. Play along and see if you can keep up. Let's meet the schools now. First, from Greenbelt Elementary, please say hello to Daniel So, Linda Quao, and Alexis Lineman. And from Yorktown Elementary, would you please welcome Victor Bauman, Ben Stilson, and Angela Young. And now here are the categories of questions we use on Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty, with the easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10 points, and the tougher ones worth 15, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest question of them all. We start our teams out with 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. At the end of the 2 rounds, one of these 2 good-looking teams will come back to play our game again and perhaps advance on to the semifinals. Let's make sure everything's working properly. Let's go first to the red team, which is wearing green jerseys today. Greenbelt, would you try your buzzer? Thank you, Linda. Good luck to you, Alexis, and to Dan. And Ben, would you try your buzzer? Thank you. Good luck to you, Ben, and Angela, and Victor. Are we ready? Let's have a great game here. We go alphabetically G before Y. So, Linda, let's play the bowl. Give me a category and a number, please.
Zoo Parade for 5.
Zoo Parade for 5 points. Teams, the very first balloon ever to appear in a Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade was of the frisky feline known as Felix the what? Yorktown.
Cat.
Cat, Felix the cat. He was the very first balloon. Of course, now we see Kermit coming down the street and SpongeBob and all kinds of other characters. Go green.
Dateline Science for 5.
Dateline Science for 5 points. Teams, this is hard to believe, but scientists say it is true. Of course, we know that we hear with our ears, but we also have a dermal hearing device. We also apparently can hear with our what? Yorktown.
Skin.
Our skin, absolutely right. Dermal means skin, as in epidermis. Wonderful job. Thank you, Angela. You were parsing that word perfectly. Go Yorktown.
Let's get physical for 5, please.
Get physical for 5 points. Teams, there's a new animated movie called Planet 51. It can't be in our solar system, though, because we only have how many planets? Greenbelt.
9, possibly 10.
Not quite. Not quite. Yorktown. Our solar system only has how many planets? Certainly nowhere near 51.
8.
8. Absolutely right. It used to be 9 with Pluto. Used to be 9 with Pluto. Go green.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, what cerebral organ sometimes is said to freeze when you eat ice cream? Yorktown.
Your brain.
Your brain. You get a brain freeze. You know, you eat it real fast and, oh, you get that horrible headache. But you go and start licking again. Go green.
Science Potpourri for 5.
Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, the new movie, the sequel in the Twilight series is named for what phase of the moon you cannot? Yorktown.
New moon.
New moon, the phase of the moon you cannot see. Absolutely right. Okay, go again, green.
Green things for 5, please.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, when you don't want to jinx something, you are said to knock on this green thing. Yorktown.
Blood.
Not blood, no, no, no. Greenbelt, if you don't want to jinx something, you're said to knock on what green thing? Linda.
Wood.
Wood. Knock on wood. Absolutely right. Knock on wood. Let's hope that happens. Okay, good comeback. Go. Red.
What?
Linda?
Okay.
green things for 5.
Green things?
10.
Green things for 10 points. All right, teams, there's a picture that goes with this question. Look at the picture in front of you there. You're going to see little balls all over a picture there. Those are pollen grains on a geranium plant. I will give you 10 points if you can tell me what body-building nutrient is found in pollen. No takers. Correct answer is protein. Protein is the body-building nutrient that's found in protein, which is why bees like to harvest it. Go again, red. Linda.
Super for 10.
Zuprate for 10 points. Teams, the U.S. government is pushing science and math education by enlisting 2 familiar characters from Sesame Street, Elmo and this emu-like character. Yorktown.
Big Bird?
Big Bird, absolutely right. Emu is that big bird in Australia. Okay, so the 2 of them are out there saying study science like you guys obviously have done. Go green.
Body systems for 10, please.
Body system for 10 points. Teams, if like that little boy in the movie, you can see dead people, you too would have how many senses? Linda. Linda, how many?
6.
6, absolutely right. The Sixth Sense was the name of the movie. We normally have 5 senses. Seeing dead people certainly would qualify as a 6th. Red.
Science potpourri for 10.
Science potpourri for 10 points. Teams, you know Kermit said it ain't easy being green. Well, it also isn't easy being this color because there are only 3 kinds of it in nature. Aquamarine, cobalt, and the other was cobalt and aquamarine, ultramarine, aqua, and cobalt are the only 3 kinds of this color that exist in nature. What color am I talking about? Yorktown.
Blue.
Blue, absolutely right. Blue is very rare in nature, very rare indeed. Thank you, and my apologies for that question reading. Go green.
Let's get physical for 10, please.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, when astronauts leave Earth and leave the atmosphere behind, they notice that the stars in outer space don't do what the nursery rhyme says they do. They don't do what, Yorktown?
Twinkle.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star. That's right, because the atmosphere distorts incoming light. All right, nice first round there. Yorktown is in the lead. Greenbelt's going to come back in the second half. We'll see you in just a moment. Don't go away. And welcome back to Science. Well, thank you for spending part of your day with us. We have 6 outstanding young people here playing our game. It's tough when these tough questions are thrown at you, but they're doing very well. Let's find out about them. First to Greenbelt Elementary School in Greenbelt, Maryland. Let's find out about what happens there. Linda, tell us about Greenbelt. Who's your principal?
Kimberly Seidel.
And your principal is here today. She'll be out in just a few moments. I know how proud she is of you. Who's the sponsor of your team?
Gravy, the Greyhound.
Yes, that's your mascot, and I know Mrs. Zanine is the sponsor of the team, and I know she has her little boy with her here today, and we'll bring her out in just a moment. There were no alternates on the team, and of course you've got your Greyhound, as Alexis pointed out over there. Linda, what's the best thing about Greenbelt? What do you really brag about your school?
That you can walk basically where you want to go.
Yeah, because it's a wonderful school. I've been there, and you have a nice nature area in the back, and it's a relatively new school, too. Linda, I know you're a great reader. What do you hope to do someday?
I want to be a psychiatrist.
Psychiatrist. Well, you have a nice manner about you, and you're in control here, and I know you're going to do well in the second half. Dan, nice to have you here. Young man who likes to do puzzles, Sudoku, and others. A good training for the mind. And what do you see yourself doing someday?
Maybe an electrical engineer.
Yeah, good math skills needed there and science skills. Let me see your shirt, Dan. Just kind of sit up a little more. It says Greenbelt Elementary Greyhounds. All right, those are good-looking shirts. Do you get to keep those, I hope? All right, they're not just rentals for your appearance today. Alexis, nice to have you with us. Tell us the Alexis story. What do you do in your spare time?
In my spare time, I like to draw and write short stories.
Write short stories, yeah, because I know you were thinking about being a lawyer, but I mean, lawyers also have to write their briefs and all, so I mean, writing skills will come in handy when you get that far in your career. Nice to have you with us today. Yorktown, nice to see you here. Yorktown was the county champ back in 1997-98. I know it's been a long dry spell. I know you'd like to get back in the winner's circle. Let's find out about Yorktown. Who's your principal, Ben?
Miss Hughes.
Miss Hughes out there rooting for you. And who's the sponsor of your team?
Yana Stilson, my mom.
Your mom, that's right. She's especially proud of you, and you are doing your team well, and I know you're going to continue in this second half here. This is a young man who does just about everything possible in his spare time, and you have all kinds of aspirations. What are some of the things you want to do? I know guitar player is one.
Inventor, designer, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, a creative mind over there, and keep up your good work. And let me ask you what I asked Linda. What do you like best about Yorktown?
Well, Yorktown has a lot of good teachers, and we get a good education there. And our teachers, they're funny also.
Yeah, oh, that's important. A teacher with a sense of humor and a lot to offer. You can't do better than that. Before I leave you, Ben, you had 2 alternates on your team. Who are they?
Alina Tan and Nancy Vu.
Wonderful, and we thank them, and we'll bring them out a little bit later with the sponsor so you can meet them. Angela, nice to have you here, a young lady who's very musically inclined. You play the flute and the piano. You're on student council, and she does something very nice over at Chapel Forge School. Tell us about the BEST program, Angela.
BEST stands for Better Educated Students of Tomorrow. You go to Chapel Forge and you go to your specific classroom and you go and you help the kids learn.
That's absolutely right. And I know you're a good tutor and a good role model. And what do you hope to do someday, Angela?
I want to be a pediatrician or a doctor and go to an Ivy League school.
Well, I know she's got it all planned out, a great discipline over there, and you're playing a great game. Victor, nice to have you here, a young man who wants to teach, possibly science someday. You're in the right spot. Why did you want to be on our program, Victor?
My brother was on Science Bowl, and well, when I heard that I had been chosen to be on, I was happy about it, and I was glad to be on the team.
And we're happy that you're here too, and to have the family tradition get passed on. And what do you want to do someday, Victor?
I want to be.
Well, you want to be a teacher, but excuse me. What do you do in your spare time?
I read. Also, I like video games and.
What kind of books do you like to read?
Fiction, science fiction.
Yeah, well, that's great. They've all got their hands on the buzzer over there. They're ready to get back at it. What good team effort. Greenbelt, I know you're going to add to your tally as we get back to it. Our score is Greenbelt 65, Yorktown 105. Ready to get back to our game. Last correct answer came from the green team. All of the high-value points are left, so it's still anybody's game. Ben, start us out.
Dateline Science for 10, please.
DATELINE for 10 points, teams. A lot of cities in this country years ago added fluorine to the city water supply in order to prevent what from happening? What were they trying to prevent, Yorktown?
Cavities.
Cavities, absolutely right. Tooth decay, and it has been phenomenally successful, too. Go, Yorktown.
Green things for 15, please.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, we human beings are heterotrophs, like all animals are, meaning we have to eat other things to survive. But plants are autotrophs, meaning what? What is an autotroph? Greenbelt has rung in. Yes,
They can
Linda.
create their own food.
They create their own food, absolutely right, through that photosynthetic process. Nicely done, Linda. Go, Greenbelt.
Zoo parade for 15.
Zoo parade for 15 points, a multiple choice question. Teams, species like Burmese pythons that pet owners have let loose in the Everglades and they have wreaked havoc on that ecosystem down there are known as exotic species, ephemeral species, or endemic species. Which of those 3? No penalties for a guess. Correct answer is an exotic species. An exotic is an alien, like a UFO that has come into an area. Try again, red. Linda?
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, these hardest and most valuable of all minerals are mined in some places, and the money is being used to fuel wars in Africa, which is why they're calling these precious stones blood what? Again?
Diamonds.
Blood diamonds, absolutely right. Yes, there was a movie about that, too. Nicely done. Thank you, Dan, for your assist. Go, Linda.
What do you want? Dateline Science for 15.
Dateline Science for 15 points. Teams, there is so much sugar in the food we eat, but if you look at the ingredients, a lot of times it's not listed as sugar. It's listed as something called high fructose corn what? It is a very thick liquid, Greenbelt.
Syrup.
Syrup, high fructose corn syrup. It seems to be in just about everything we eat. Sugar disguised. All right, what a game we have here. Greenbelt 110, Yorktown 115, almost a tie. Advantage red. Linda?
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, when a star dies, it ends up in the heavens in one of these areas where no light can escape. What is it? It is a black hole. Absolutely right, Ben. Okay, good answer there. Go Yorktown. Green.
Body systems for 15, please.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, children at one time in this country used to get vaccines for measles, mumps, and rubella. Nowadays, another childhood disease for which there is a vaccine is for a disease that is caused by the herpes zoster virus. Now all children seem to be getting vaccinated for what other childhood disease? Yorktown.
Swine flu?
Not swine flu. Good try. Another childhood disease that vaccines are now available for that heretofore were not. Greenbelt. Herpes zoster virus. Chickenpox was the right answer. Go green.
Green things for 20, please.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, forest fires can be good for plants. Sometimes the heat is so high it causes pine cones to burst open to release their seeds, and the ammonia and ethylene in the smoke from the fire causes those seeds to do what? What would a seed do? What?
Sprout.
Give me another word.
Grow.
Not grow. Another one.
Germinate.
Germinate's what I want to hear. Yes, indeed. Good. Go. Red. Linda, you choose.
Zoo parade for 20.
Zoo parade for 20 points. A math question. Think very carefully here. Sometimes two different kind of animals can mate. If you have a goat and a sheep, you get a geep. It's a hybrid. It is sterile because it has an odd number of chromosomes. If a goat has 60 chromosomes and a sheep has 54, 60 and 54, and each donate half to the geep, how many chromosomes are in the geep if 60 and 54 are both halved? Greenbelt. Again?
67.
Not 67. Good try. Yorktown. The goat has 60 and the sheep has 54. Both donate half. How many are in the geep? Correct answer is 57. You came close. You came close. Go again, red. Tie score still.
Starting potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, in Estonia, a country in Northern Europe, there are more of these kinds of craters than anywhere else on Earth. What caused those craters? Yorktown.
Meteors.
You got that right. Meteors and meteorites. Good answer. Thank you, Victor. Go, Ben.
Body systems for 20, please.
Body systems for 20 points. Teams, on television, there's a commercial for Plavix, and they say that these tiny blood components that normally cause clots when you are cut can sometimes clog up your blood vessels. What are those P-initialed blood clotting agents in your blood called? All right. Who's going to be our spokesperson here? Daniel, what is it?
Platelets.
Say it again.
Platelets.
Judges, we're going to give it to you. Yes, indeed. Platelets or platelets. Good answer. Go red.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, in order to make it rain, some countries are seeding clouds. You drop in little crystals of a chemical known as iodide. It is made from what second most popular precious metal? Second most popular precious metal is what a part of those crystals are made of, Yorktown?
Silver.
Silver iodide crystals. That's what does it. Good. Green.
Dateline science for 20, please.
Dateline for 20 points. Teams, there's a new book out about spying that took place in China. The name of the book is the Asian version of our hurricanes. All right, Greenbelt.
Can he say
Daniel.
Typhoon.
You got it. The name of the book is The Typhoon. A typhoon is the Eastern Hemisphere's equivalent of our hurricane. Nicely done. Red, please.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25. Big one in that category. Teams, what trees are to the forests on land, these K-initialed plants are to the forests in the ocean. K-initialed. Kelp is what I want to hear. Yes, good. Go. Red.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade for 25 points. Teams, there's a picture that goes with this question. If you look at the picture in front of you there, you're going to see a little lizard that is a gecko. That gecko is all white. He lacks pigmentation. What is the condition that we call when there is no pigmentation in an animal? For 25 points. Yorktown, what is that?
Albino.
Albino it is. Albinism. Absolutely right. Good. Yorktown. Green. Go.
Body systems for 25, please.
Body systems for 25 points. Teams, the owner of the Washington Wizards, Abe Poland, sadly died recently. He had a rare brain disease called corticobasal degeneration. It left him unable to move. I will give you 25 points if you can give me the P initial term that means Yorktown.
Paralyzed.
Paralyzed or paralysis. Absolutely right. Good. Thank you, Angela. Go Green.
Let's get physical for 25, please.
Get physical for 25 points. 2 minutes left in our game. Here's the 25-point question, and let's get physical. Cooks know that when you measure the temperature in an oven, you should use a wet bulb thermometer because a lot of the moisture from the food evaporates into the oven. And what do we call the amount of water vapor left in the oven that you have to be conscious of? The amount of water vapor left in that oven. What's that known as? What do you think, Yorktown?
Humidity.
You got that right. That's what I want to hear. Humidity is absolutely perfect. Good. Green.
Science potpourri for 25, please.
For 25 points, teams. Students today are told to study the STEM subjects. S-T-E-M. Those are the first letters of 4 subjects that all students should be studying today. I'll give you 25 points if you can give me 3 of those 4 subjects symbolized by STEM. Linda.
Science, technology, mathematics.
You got 3. The other one was engineering. Nicely done. 1 question left in the game. Dateline for 25 points. Here's the situation. Greenbelt 220, Yorktown 225. Greenbelt, you get this. We have a tie game. Yorktown, you get it. You are our winner. If both of you miss, Yorktown will be our winner. This is Dateline for 25 points. Listen carefully. Teams, there was an incident recently at this Pennsylvania nuclear power plant that back in the 1970s had a major leak. Can you tell me the name of that nuclear power plant in Pennsylvania that had a famous radioactive meltdown? Anybody? The name of the place is 3 Mile Island. 3 Mile Island. That means Yorktown, by 25 points, is going to be the winner of our game. We'll be back with a wrap-up in just a moment. Don't go away. And welcome back to Science Bowl. What a terrific game. Came down to that last question. The lead kept going back and forth. And what is unusual, they seem to do better on the harder questions than the easier ones. We're proud of all of our players today. Our final tally is Greenbelt 220, Yorktown 245. Congratulations to Victor and Ben and Angela. And back there, Alina and Nancy, the 2 alternates, waved everybody so we can see who you are. And Miss Stilson, Ben's mom and the sponsor of the team, she's very happy about this. I want to see some smiles here. You guys had a rough first round, and you really came back. Dan and Linda and Alexis and our Greyhound over there, and Miss Seidel and Miss Zanine, thank you for being here today, and we hope to see you next time on Science Bowl. See you then. Bye now.